All right, hi guys. Today we're on day 4, block 1 notes. So our first set of notes today is going to be combining a lot of the stuff we've talked about already with parallel lines, transversals, vertical angles, straight angles, things like that. But now we're going to incorporate the degrees within a triangle into all of that. So first of all, we know that triangles have a total of 180 degrees, meaning if I add up all 3 angles, they will always equal 180 degrees. Let's talk about why that is. So looking at this image here, I'm going to add in another line that's going to be parallel to the base. Oops. So I'm going to add it in at the top here. See how good I can draw. And I'm drawing this line purposely. I'm going to call it line M. And let's call the base line N. So I'm saying that M is parallel to N. So what we know about parallel lines, if these guys are parallel, that means this angle right here is equivalent or congruent at the top. That's alternate exterior, or sorry, alternate interior. And same thing with angle B, can also go at the top here. And then if I look at those 3 angles together, A, B, and C, that forms a straight angle, which I know is 180 degrees, thus showing why A, B, and C also equal 180 degrees within the triangle. This is just one kind of informal proof. There's a lot of other ones. You can Google it if you're interested, but this is one reason why we know that the 3 angles in a triangle will always equal 180 degrees. So let's take a look here at what we're talking about, just being careful with labeling. So what's the difference between these 2 problems? So when I look at these 2 problems, the first one, everything is marked on the inside, meaning this first situation is asking about angle measures. Everything here is on the outside. The second situation is asking about side measures. And my dog just sneezed. If you heard that in the background, it's fine. Okay, so just be careful when you're looking at what's labeled angles versus sides. And let's jump into some examples. So throughout these notes, I'm going to do a few and then you'll do some as well. So it won't just be me doing all of them because I think it's pretty straightforward and you guys should be fine. So first example, we want to solve for x using what we know. It's a triangle. I have 3 angles, 55 plus 54 plus x plus 74 should sum to 180 degrees. Whoa, 180. And then we're just solving. Simplify, so combine all the constants. X plus 183 equals 180. Solve for x. X equals -3. Now I know like the first time I did this, I kind of paused. I was like, wait, x equals -3. It feels wrong to have a negative answer. It's fine because if you plug it back in, -3 plus 74 is still going to give you a positive. And you could check, right, add them back up, see if it actually works. Okay, so let's do another one. So now we're going to tie in a little bit more of what we know. I have these symbols here. This means parallel. So these 2 lines are parallel to each other. I'm solving for x. There are multiple ways to go about this, but I'll show you what I did. If you have parallel lines like this and they're kind of short or they end at the transversal, it might be helpful to kind of extend it out. Ooh, that's terrible, close enough. And then extend that transversal as well or highlight it or something so that you can kind of see how we're building that transversal within the parallel lines. That helps me make the connection that this angle x here should be congruent to this one up here because those guys would become alternate interior angle measures. So now I have an x at the top, 2 other angles of my triangle, 50 plus 40 plus x equals 180, 90 plus x equals 180, x equals 90 degrees. Don't be frustrated that the picture does not represent that. It's fine. A lot of times the pictures don't look like what we actually calculate. It doesn't look like a right angle, but it is. Okay. Let's see here. We'll do one more together, then I have a few for you guys to do. So the next one, it's getting a little bit more complicated, more of a puzzle here to find this missing angle. There's a lot of pieces, so when you see something like this, I think the best strategy is just to start labeling what you know, right? So like right away, 45 up here means 45 down here. That's a vertical angle. Okay, and I start to think about what else I know. Well, I can figure out this missing angle. I know that those add up to 180. So what I start to do to figure out that missing angle a lot faster is I'm just going to subtract the two angles that I know from 180, 60 and 45 to kind of speed up the process. So that makes this measure 75. Now again, I have just kind of working around. Like I'm not worried about this missing angle yet. I'm just filling in what I know so I can get over there. These three guys are a straight angle. So again, they should add up to 180. I can speed up the solving process by just subtracting right away. Minus 68, minus 75. And that gives me 37 for this little one. Again, I have a triangle measure. 180 minus the other two. That gives me 43. And to finally get to that missing angle I started with, whoops, sorry, this is a straight angle. 180 minus 43 equals 137 degrees. Okay, so again, it's kind of like the crook problems, like some other things we've done. It's a big puzzle, so you have to do it step by step in order to get to that final answer. Okay. So I want you to try this next one on your own here. Think about what you know, use vertical angles, sum of a triangle, things like that to solve for x. All right, here's my final answer. I got negative 11. I have a couple of vertical angle pairs, and then the three angles inside should sum to 180 and solve for x. Okay. A bunch of you tries on here. We'll go through them one at a time just so you can kind of see them easier. So first, let's try to find angle A. So you're going to find x first, but then make sure you actually find the measure of angle A so that you properly answer the question. So try that one on your own. All right, here we go. So I got x equals 12. I have, again, a pair of vertical angles here. So when I add up the two expressions, plus 80 degrees, should equal 180. This should be 180 over here. Solve for x, and then I plug that back in to get angle A. Okay, so the next two, again, I'm splitting them up because partially this first picture is terrible, and then this one's a little bit longer. So let's focus on the first one. I'm going to zoom in here for you guys. So I want you to find all the angles here. So I actually numbered them for you so that you don't have to like write them all in those little spaces, or if you want to write them and then match them up. I don't know, it's a lot. So a lot of them are repeated, but I'll write out all the numbers here as well for you. So try this one on your own. Okay, so here's my final answers. So I listed out the angles measures on the side based on what I had written originally, like the numbers. But I also redid the picture and just put them all on the picture. So if that's how you did it, it's a little easier to check this way. I forgot to number the middle ones, so make sure you look at those as well. And then I kind of tried to number the steps I took to find them all. None of the math is super complicated. This problem is honestly just hard because the picture is really small and kind of blurry. So just take your time, go slow. Just to get you started, I noticed that the 6x plus 1 and the 25, the red I kind of labeled here, those are alternate interior angles, so they're congruent. So that's how I found x to kind of get me started. And then just working my way around using triangle sum and vertical angles, straight angles, things like that. Okay, so if you need to pause to look more, definitely do so. We have one left here for you guys to try. This last one. So it says find x and y, then find the measure of angle A. I'm not even going to start this one for you. I want you to try it completely on your own. There's not like one singular way to do it, but a hint here, you will be using systems. So see if you can solve this problem. All right, so here's my final answer for that last one. So I solved the system here first using a straight angle to get my first equation. Second equation, I knew that all the angles should sum to 180. And then I used elimination. X equals 10, and then I solved for y equals 5. You really didn't have to solve for y in this problem because we were looking for, oh no, you did, because it said find x and y. Just kidding. So you had to solve for both. If it had just said find the measure of angle A, then you could really have stopped after x. But regardless, angle A equals 70 degrees after I plug it back in.